Yeah, man.
Go last.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go!
What is up, guys? This is Mike Dean with First Step Travelers. So last we left off, we were still in the province of Cebu, and I wanted to highlight 3 reasons why you need to come to Cebu: adventure, affordability, and the people. Last we left off, we were in Oslab with the whale sharks, and from there, I'm taking a bus all the way to Moalbol on the other side of the island.
Sometimes to get things done, you gotta sit in the front of a bus.
So if you want to hear about how the buses work, check out my last video because I explain everything there. So Moalbol is basically a small diving town with a few hostels and resorts. Now I booked at the hostel, which was a really cool hostel, but you will not have AC, so be forewarned. Now there's quite a few things you can do in Moalbol, like free diving, scuba diving, and snorkeling. And it's also a perfect place that you will want to stay for a few days because you have to go canyoneering and badian, and that is something we will get to in a minute. Now freediving lessons are a bit pricey, and I didn't have any scuba gear, so I did a ton of snorkeling, and you won't be disappointed if you snorkel around Moalbol. Every morning I woke up, I would go out and snorkel for a few hours, and you can rent a mask and snorkel for about 100 pesos, or $2, all day. And you will see an assortment of sea life just snorkeling around. Everything is close enough to the surface. And if I can see this much just snorkeling, I can only imagine what I would see freediving or scuba diving. And there is one thing you'll see a lot of while you're snorkeling, and that is sardines. There are swarms of them out there, and you can literally swim right through them. If you go early enough in the morning, there's so many that when you swim through, they actually block out the sun. You might even run into a few sea turtles like I did.
Why you nearly kicked it? It was right on top of it.
You really can't ask for more than this. Crystal blue waters, lots of sun, and just coasting through the water, snorkeling. And everything is so affordable. That's enough reason on its own to visit Moalbol. But make sure you watch out for jellyfish. They're not deadly, but I'm sure they don't feel good if you touch them.
Jellyfish.
So as I said before, if you're staying here, you have to go canyoneering and badian. And to do this, you have to book a trip. Now, I highly recommend going through a local service instead of going to the tourist shops. When I signed up, I only paid 1,100 pesos, which is about $21. And the tourist shop wanted 5 times as much. The tours are exactly the same. And once you have your spot reserved, the next morning you meet up with your group and ride out to the location where you start your canyoneering adventure. Now there is only one way into the canyon.
Oh! Oh!
That's a thing. That is a thing. It was that close, man. Oh, mom. Ooh, now I'm getting nervous. Oh, shit. Go, 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 go!
Now it is a bit nerve-wracking, but trust me, you have to do this.
Go! Woo! Holy shit! Holy shit! Woo! Oh, this is... Oh, I'm alive right now. I'm alive! Dude, you were so close to the wall. I was so scared.
And once you're in, you can start making your way through the canyon. Now initially, it'll be a bit crowded, but that all clears out once you get a little ways through. This is a whole day packed full of adventure. Some of the most incredible thrills you will ever experience.
This is a stupid choice! This is stupid!
literally spend the day climbing and swimming through a canyon, crawling through caves, flinging yourself off cliffs with the most incredible blue tint of water I've ever seen, and just admiring the natural beauty of it all. This is something I could have only dreamed of doing as a kid, and I was living it that day. This was the most adventure I have ever had, and for $21 US, you really can't beat this. I have nothing bad to say about this experience, and everybody I shared this day with was awesome.
Whoa.
And you'll have to forgive me.
Oh man.
I was a bit high on life. So your goal is to reach Kawasan Falls. And on your way, you'll run into some locals making barbecue,
Ooh, I smell barbecue.
which was delicious.
How much?
Now this is a physically demanding hike. Nothing extreme, but you will be exhausted by the end of this. And eventually, you make it to Kawasan Falls, where the most extreme jumps are. This is one day I will never forget.
Go!
What's up, guys? I really hope you enjoyed that video. As you can see, there is plenty to do around this area. Staying in Moalbol is the perfect place to stay if you want to go canyoneering, snorkeling, scuba diving, free diving. The people in Moalbol are amazing as well. As soon as we got back that night, the locals invited us to this crazy party that was actually so big it shut down all the power in Moalbol that night, which was hilarious, but it was such a good time. Moalbol is great. You have to go canyoneering. Like I said, the group I went canyoneering with was awesome. A huge thank you to Timon from the Netherlands for letting me use some of your footage from your GoPro. I really appreciate that, man. I know you went back to the Philippines, so I hope you had just as good of a time as you did this time. So there is gonna be one more video on Cebu. And from here, I'll be heading down to Dumaguete, which has ports that I can take to some of the islands like Apo Island and Siquijor Island with two people I met canyoneering. And I actually have to navigate election day traffic to get back to the airport to fly home, which was very interesting. I had no idea how they did elections in the Philippines until then. It was an interesting thing to see, and I'm really excited to show all of that because that experience was amazing. If this helped you out at all, make sure you smash that like button. If you have any questions, throw them in the comments below. I'm always answering comments. Subscribe because I got more videos on traveling coming out. Plenty of tips, ways to travel for cheap, and after all this, I'm headed to Europe. So make sure you like, subscribe, and we will see you guys next time. Safe travels.